Good afternoon. I am Mary Anglade. I am the founder of Builder Lead Marketing, and I'm very excited to host this webinar today about your 2025 Internet Marketing Plan. I have a few initial housekeeping and agenda items, so let's get started with those. I think everybody is finally here. And if we have some additional people coming, then we will be able to share the recording with them. Okay, so here's our agenda for the day, or for the hour, I should say. I'm going to do a short introduction of who is Builder Lead Marketing. This is not a sales call. Please don't feel like it is, but I just want you to understand a little bit about me and my company, as well as how we approach marketing, because I think it will influence the webinar. We're going to be going over some key marketing frameworks. Would not be a marketing discussion without discussing your target audience and your positioning. We're going to take a moment to talk about online stats. In order to really start planning, you need to know where you stand currently. So we'll go over how to look at your baseline results, chat about setting goals, and then we'll get into the meat of digital marketing channels. What are they? What to look for? Some best practices that you may wish to employ in 2025 and beyond. And we'll wrap it up with a planning calendar. A little bit of housekeeping. So the webinar should go for about an hour, maybe a little bit over. We are recording it, and so we will be sending you the recording as well as the slides. If you wish to take notes, you can, but you don't have to take down everything because you will be receiving this. You should have received a workbook and a goal calculation sheet. If not, please let us know and we'll resend it. The workbook is also on our website, builderleadmarketing.com, so you can go there and download it. One important note is that in the workbook, there's a priorities page. There's a lot in this webinar, and we recognize that you may not be doing any of this, and that is fine. You have to just start where you are. But we lay out what we think makes sense in terms of a roadmap. Like, where do you begin? What do you focus on first? So please take a look at that. This is not meant to be overwhelming. And we will be doing a monthly webinar. We are going to cover quite a few topics today, but they're going to be at a fairly high strategic level. We'll be getting into detail in the coming months, tackling each of these areas in greater depth. So I hope you'll join us for those sessions. And if you know others in the industry or your market that might be interested, please do share with them. And this recording will also be put on our YouTube channel. This is what the workbook looks like. So again, you can get that at builderleadmarketing.com or reach out to us directly. I will give you my contact information in a few slides. But first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Mary Anglade. I have been in marketing for over 25 years. I've worked for very large corporations, startups, nonprofits, small businesses. So I really have a good understanding of the different ways companies may approach marketing. I started a generalist agency, which is still in business, called SparkGen Marketing in 2012. So you can look that up. It's sparkgen.com. And then I started working with a number of builders, and my team really enjoyed working with home builders. And coincidentally, a number of them were modular home building businesses. So we did a specific niche for just the builders, and that's Builder Lead Marketing. Builder Lead Marketing has only been around for the last 3 months. I also hope you'll like us on social media and watch our YouTube. You'll see this moment, we don't have a lot of followers, but that's just because we're just getting started. But we also saw that there were unique needs for this particular industry and wanted to serve them and really, understand their business and be able to deliver marketing that made sense. Buying a home is a very complicated purchase, very emotional, big financial investment. This is very different than maybe some of our other clients that sell low ticket or even impulse types of purchases. So, just one other note, my early career actually was in finance. I worked in banking. I used to be a lender in New York City. I worked with a lot of fashion companies in the garment center, and I'm credit trained. And so I also have an MBA and a financial background. So my approach to marketing is a little bit different, and my team's is also different in that we are very results oriented. We look at the data, we look at the numbers, and that's what really, I think resonates with our clients as well. We don't do what I call foo-foo marketing, and we meet once a month at least to go over results because digital marketing is extremely measurable. And we'll get into that in a few slides. These are our programs. Again, this isn't a sales call, but if you're interested, you can find out more on our website. We have 3 primary programs. We really partner with our clients. We start foundations is for people really just starting out, all the way up to enterprise, which is a full-blown marketing program, may even include some print. We also work with real estate developers and developments, and we can do some really great marketing collateral and email as you're trying to bring new people in to buy those homes. And we also do all of these, well, at least acceleration and enterprise usually include a social media component, but we will do a social media add-on. So if you only want social media, that is something we could potentially do for you. Would love to connect with you. Please scan this QR code with the camera on your phone, and this will bring you to a link tree. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can find our YouTube channel. We have some great case studies of other clients. I think it really shares kind of our approach, and it's great to hear what other people have to say about working with us, and you can see if maybe that's appealing. You can find our website. You can find a free digital ebook that is a blueprint for digital marketing for home builders. So please do find all that out. It is all complimentary, and we would love to connect with you. Our core focus is helping builders. Our goal is 500 in the next 5 years. So we really want to grow. We love this niche. We love the clients. We love what you do. What's more important than your home? It's one of, our basic needs as human beings. And we also, as marketers, just love how visual it is, how beautiful it is. There's also a lot of emotion. So this is something that we have a strong passion for. And we also recognize there's an affordable housing crisis in this country and a housing crisis in general. And so we like being a part of helping with that solution where helping people really at the end of the day. So that is really the mission that drives us. Okay, so let's dive into your 2025 internet marketing plan. First step, any marketing discussion has to start with your target buyer and your positioning within the market. Who is your ideal client? So it would be great if you could take a moment and write it down. Who is this person? Or is it a family? Because usually homes, there's maybe more than one target and it's more than one person making the decision. Get a clear picture of who this is. Or maybe you're dealing with investors. Or if you're in the industry, maybe you are a B2B company. Are you dealing with investors, agents, all of that you have to think about. And maybe you have a primary target and then you have a secondary target. So this is just very important, and we'll expand upon this. But if you could start to think about that, that really is the heart of your marketing plan, right? Is appealing to this person so they make a purchase with you. As I said, home buying and building is a very complex purchase. This is not toothpaste. I'm not going to try a new flavor today. This is something that I'm going to think about for a long time. It is, for most Americans, the largest financial decision they make. It's complex. It could seem overwhelming. And you, as somebody in this industry, need to exude trust, expertise, and authority. So how do you do that? And where are you in the market? Are you dealing with high income people that maybe you're selling vacation homes? You are up in this top corner. Or maybe you're down where you're more in the affordable space, and that is fine too. I'm just, by the way, just taking my picture out just because I think that it's a little bit distracting with the slides where we have a lot going on here visually. Think about where you are, because somebody who makes millions of dollars has different priorities and different pain points than somebody who is on, maybe they make a nice income, but they're really more in the affordable space. And the way you speak to those people has to be different. That what you show them visually is different. So think about that. Where do you fit in your market? Oops. Sorry, for some reason, it pushed me out of the presentation for a second, so I apologize for that. How do your prospects find out about you? Okay, remember these lovely yellow books, the yellow pages, which at least in our town, I was thankful they stopped distributing them, because I feel like a large number of residents weren't even bringing them in anymore, and they were just, getting rained on. No, people are not using the yellow pages, at least not the print version. They are not looking for homes in newspapers. Maybe they're gathering some information there, but things have really changed. And this is an interesting study. When the National Home Buying Survey was conducted in 1981, the most important source after agents was the newspaper. I remember when I was looking for an apartment in New York City, I had, would look in the Sunday Times at the real estate. It was largely a waste of time, because by the time you got to the apartment, it had been taken. Now, fast forward to 2020, 97% of home buyers use the internet in their home search. So this is a dramatic change in buyer behavior, and important in that you have to adjust what you're doing now to reach your potential prospects. So we're going to cover just a few of the sales and marketing frameworks. I think it helps us just think through the buyer journey. And this is a classic sales funnel. You have at the top, you're just building awareness. You can't build me a house if I've never heard of you. And I may not even think I need to build a house. Maybe I'm out looking for existing homes, but I'm not finding what I want. So I'm starting to get familiar with this idea, and I'm gathering information. Some people will be removed from this stage. Maybe they can't afford it and they'll figure that out. But you'll get a smaller and smaller amount. Some of them will become actually qualified leads, and then they enter consideration. They're strongly considering building a new home. They've already looked at a lot of information. They looked at your website. Now they want to see testimonials. They're probably looking at several home builders. Maybe they're considering stick built or modular. Possibly they're ready for an in-person call or visit, or stopping in at your model home if you have one. They're looking at their budget. Their education is key. And then a few people are going to become really, hot prospects. They enter decision making, and at that point they are looking probably at a couple of different options. They're negotiating, and they are doing maybe a plus and minus checklist to see which company to go with. So at each of these stages, you have to think, what is the marketing tactic that I need? So at the awareness stage, with 97% of the people using the internet, you really want to have a strong website. You want educational content, no matter what kind of home you're building, because building a home can be overwhelming. If you are a modular home builder, this educational content is so important, because there's so many misconceptions about modular homes. People think they're mobile. They think they're cheap. I mean, we know at Builder Lead Marketing that nothing could be farther from the truth, at least certainly with our clients. But these are all things that people worry about. You're going to want to be found on search. So you have SEO, you have pay-per-click. We're going to get into what those are and what that means, looking at reviews, right? And there's going to be overlap. I mean, you want to maybe see a client experience up front too, certainly in the consideration phase. decision making. Okay, how is this company stacking up against its competition and maybe my other choices? Inbound marketing. This is actually from marketing software company HubSpot. They, I believe, coined the term, but this is a graph from their materials. And basically, they profile how we have changed. We no longer are necessarily looking at TV with ads on it. A lot of us are using Netflix or something like that. So you're no longer getting so many push notifications. You're out there, you're searching for information. And this is true whether you're looking for a car. I mean, talk about toothpaste. Yeah, I actually have researched things that are that low ticket. Okay, this is just part of our life now. We all start usually on Google or Bing, and we're out there looking for information. So I'm a stranger, I'm looking for information about building a home. I maybe say, gosh, what is modular building? I land on your blog that you have optimized with the right keywords. So I find it. Oh, and then, I click through and I look at these gorgeous homes this builder builds. Then, okay, maybe I'm ready to download a guide or maybe watch a video or download a book or something. So I am going over, I'm giving you my information. Now I'm becoming a lead because you can reach out to me. And some of those leads, as we went through in the other framework, are going to become customers. Let's say I love my new home. Well, I probably am sharing the process on, Facebook or Instagram. And now I'm sharing it with my friends. So I'm becoming a promoter. This is very standard. And you have to think about what are you doing at each of these stages. So again, a few important stats. As we mentioned, 97% of home buyers use the internet to search for homes. The most important website feature was photos. Home building is very visual. People love looking at beautiful homes, interiors, exteriors, kitchens, baths. I mean, you name it. HGTV doesn't exist if all of this wasn't of interest to people. So really important that you have these elements. Other key facts, you must have a mobile and tablet optimized website. Go right now, take a look at your website on your phone. If you say have an iPhone, ask somebody who has another type of phone to do the same. Make sure it is displayed properly. 76% of home buyers use mobile or tablet. They're not even using their computer. And the younger millennials are also, not surprisingly, using mobile. People are looking for 8 weeks at homes and 5 are viewed solely online. Users form an opinion about a website in 5 seconds. So give it the 5 second. Go look at your website and quickly ask yourself, give yourself 5 seconds, no longer, or ask, even better, ask a friend or family member who is not afraid to share the truth with you. What do you think of my website? Your website is your 24/7 model home. Okay. And this is so important because of all the things we've just talked about, but also because it is open when you are not, when you are at a job site or you are busy talking to a client. But let's say I want to browse at lunchtime or maybe at the end of my day after all the work is done. That could be 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I'm, browsing homes. You are not there. So make sure what you are presenting is the best that you can present. Here's a example of a modern customer journey. Okay, so starting at the top, Tom and Tammy, they've outgrown their home. They are double income, so they have money and they can afford to build a home. They want top schools. They have 2 children. They are not happy with what they're seeing. It's just not meeting their needs, or there really isn't any inventory. And they look on Instagram, they see their friends, Jim and Jen just built a modular home. It looks gorgeous. It's exactly what they want. Sounds like it's built very quickly. They can go, to a webinar and visit the factory. They meet with Roberta, the real estate agent, who, she's been meeting with them. And finally she says, look, you might even want to do a tear down, which in the New York suburbs is not uncommon because there's not really a lot of land left, if any. Now they're thinking, okay, maybe I am going to build a home and it'll be energy efficient, it'll be sustainable. Tammy, because she's been searching on the internet, they're Googling build home in Westchester. They start seeing local reviews, they start seeing builder websites. Then Tammy starts to see real estate ads and she is looking in Westchester County. She wants more information. She, as we mentioned, saw their friends, Jen and Jim, building a home. She starts following influencers. She starts learning more. Okay, so when Tom and Tammy find you online, do they want to take the next step? So I think this is something that you genuinely have to ask yourself. Are you presenting yourself in the best light? So, and by the way, if you are also a real estate developer, this is important as well. The way you present your development, the way you present the homes, the community also, because people want the lifestyle. What are you showing people? Okay, so that this is the reality of today. And remember, buying a home is usually someone's biggest financial decision. What do you need to do to reach today's prospect? And what is your plan for 2025? Let's get into the meat of planning for 2025. Okay, you got to start where you are. You got to look at your existing results. You should be able to tell on your website how many people visited your website, how long they spent, where they went, where the traffic is coming from, both geographically as well as by channel. So are you getting it from social media? Are you getting it from referrals? How are you getting your traffic? Okay. You may not have this. Well, guess what? Google.com analytics, you can set up a free account. You'll get a snippet of code, which you put into the back end of your website. If you don't know how to do that, any developer, this is very simple, should be able to help you. Or of course, any digital agency can help too. Are you on social media? Please take a moment, write down how many followers you have, okay? We're almost at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. Ask yourself how many followers you have across your platforms. For any business account, you can go in and look at your insights, see which are your most successful posts. Why? Why were they the most successful? Start to draw trends, okay? And once you kind of get an idea of where you stand, then you can start to set some goals for next year. Here is a sample Google Analytics report. There are dozens of reports you can run with this free program. This particular client is using paid social media. This is something we do every month. We do a deep dive with our clients. We look at where the traffic's coming from, how it compares to last year. Home building tends to be seasonal. So, we look at the prior time frame from the year before, look at the engagement rates. This is just very important. You should always know where you stand, how you're doing, and where your money is going as well. These are fictitious charts, but they are actually samples of how we present the information. We look at annual website traffic. Some of our clients have been with us now for years. We're able to go very far back. Or if you have had Google Analytics, we can still go back and look. We look at leads into the website. You can track how many forms are filled out. You can also track click to call. Okay, so those are when you just have to click on the link and your phone takes you to a phone call. That is measurable. Conversion rate. So if you have a sales team, you should know what's their conversion rate. How are they doing? They got this many leads this year. What was the average? So how many of those actually turned into sales? How many homes did you sell? Of course, you have your financial picture. Hopefully you have this readily available, but really looking at monthly revenue, annual revenue, what are your goals? If you built 10 houses this year, are you okay with 10 next year? You have to start to think, where am I at the moment? This is also a great time to look at the competition. What does their website look like? Who's your top competitor? Write that down. Who are your top 5 competitors? Okay. Go and look at their online presence. Are they using a newsletter? Are they using lead magnets? Do they have a blog? How are they ranking in search? If you put into Google home builder in your area, who comes up? Okay. Take a look at that. What are people saying about them? Because your prospects are seeing this online. Okay, so once you have an idea of where you stand, now you can set clear goals. So what are your goals for 2025? Success is goals, all else is commentary. Brian Tracy, great quote. If you don't have any goals, you're floating around aimlessly. If you have clear goals, you've got wind in your sails, and you have a clear direction for your business, your team. So really important to think about, where are you going? What's your long-term vision? Not just 2025, but where do you want to be? I think, you could say, well, maybe I don't really want to grow. I'm happy with the business I have. There's nothing wrong with that. I think you still have to work at sustaining it because of competitive pressures. But, you may want to grow. Maybe you want to be able to sell your business or leave it to family, or, you want it to go on. You want it to grow. Maybe you want to make more money. Most people can get on board with that, right? So you have to ask, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Because that will, of course, be driving your actions. So we also sent out this goal calculation and lead generation planner. Please let me know if you did not get it. I'll be happy to send it. The yellow fields are the formulas. So you don't really want to mess with those. This works for any business too. If you are in a related, maybe you're not a home builder, your numbers will just look quite different. But you should be able to get an idea of what's your average cost per lead, how many leads do you need to achieve your goals. It's a good starting point, and it's a simple spreadsheet, but it really kind of helps clarify. So in summary, what's your goal for 2025? How many leads will you need monthly to get there? Okay, so this is a little assignment for you to take. You can do it now, or certainly while you're trying to create your plan. And how are you going to go about it? So we're going to talk about that. Creating your online marketing strategy. Okay, so now we're getting into the nuts and bolts. Our accelerated growth model is really based on these three things. We want to drive leads, we want to maximize conversions, and we want to optimize. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Our first priority is the website. And if you look in the workbook, you'll see we have this listed. Why? Really, for all the things we've just talked about. It is your 24/7 online model home. People make impressions about you from your website. Okay, we live in a digital age. People aren't really patient. They're not giving you the benefit of the doubt. So you need to present yourself in a way that makes your business shine. So make it beautiful, make it work for you, make it work across, here you see we've got mobile, we've got tablet, we've got big desktop, we've got laptop. Go to your website and ask friends and family to pull it up on your phone, on different types of browsers. Make sure, you also just have the basics, like no broken links, things like typos. I mean, you want me to drop, at this point, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars to build me a home. And yet I go to your website and it looks terrible. And, it looks like nobody's proofed it. I'm going to think, maybe you left a pipe out of my house or something. I mean, what do I know? So don't underestimate how important this is. Here's the must-haves. We work off of WordPress. It's what we recommend. It's what they call an open source platform, so it's always being updated. There are tons of plugins, and a plugin is just pre-existing code, and this is great because you don't have to pay. You should not be custom coding anything. They also have dozens of what they call themes and templates. So if you're building a new website, a lot of the coding has been done, and it makes it very budget friendly. You want to make sure it's optimized for search. You absolutely have to, not just have a website, but have a means that people can actually find you on the website. And as we mentioned, mobile optimized. Featured homes. If you're going to build me a home, I want to see the homes you've built. So showcase those homes. Invest in some good photography. Again, I'm making a big investment. Don't show, that you have, little iPhone photos that are very dark or grainy or anything like that. You want to make sure you're really showing your work in the best light. And everybody loves this. We love looking at beautiful exteriors and interiors and, landscaping and pools and the lifestyle, right? Because that's what gets somebody dreaming and getting excited. Um, Educational content is so important for any home builder and for especially modular home builders. With all the misconceptions out there, people really don't understand that it is another way to build a home. There's a lot of benefits with modular. This is not something the general population understands. You need to offer this content. And social proof, that's happy clients. Can you get some videos? Can you have some written testimonials? And I think another really important point is usually a developer alone is not going to build you a beautiful website. You need to hire a designer. There are people out there that both design and develop. I highly recommend you look at somebody's portfolio and really make sure you like their work. We do have somebody on our staff that's a design developer, but she was a designer first, and then she became a developer too. She's very unique, and I can tell you this after many years in the industry. So again, make your website sell for you, stunning photos, reviews, and a design that delivers. So here is one of our clients. You can take a look at this example. We did the design. We actually did a branding refresh for them. I love this website because it really showcases their featured homes in a great light. They build beautiful, beautiful homes. And we're always working on this, by the way. A website should be something pretty vibrant. We'll get into SEO in a bit, but having a blog where you're constantly sharing content, all of that's really important. Social proof, video testimonials, this person's so happy, she loves the home. You can put this out on social media. Perhaps she might even allow you to tag her. I want to see that you have happy customers. I want to see that you've built homes for other people. And live chat can also be very useful. This can be just a plugin. It doesn't have to be hard. But again, if you are, you're not answering your phone late at night, but maybe somebody, that's when they have time to take a look at what you do. And you could have an AI powered chat. This is just a nice feature. So again, 10 critical elements for site conversion. You've got to speak to your target avatar, okay? In the workbook, there's, some things to consider when you're really profiling this person. Think about all of that. And then ask yourself, is my current website delivering the right message to that person? Okay? If you are dealing with really, I think pretty much anybody, I think everybody is digitally savvy now, but certainly, even in that study they did, people in their 60s and 70s are still online. This is no longer just for kids, but certainly if you're dealing with anybody on the younger side, let's say under 45, these are, pretty much almost digital natives, and you want to make sure you have a sophisticated presence. Use authentic images of yourself, of your team. People love connecting with other people. And so, please have a photo of yourself and whoever the people are that work for you. We want to know that there's, a good team behind the business. Video, multimedia, these are great add-ons as well. We just talked about social proof. Get your basics in order. You can read through this yourself, but making sure your phone number is prominently displayed. Also, make sure you don't have any broken links. Go take a look at, your website right now. When you click on a Facebook icon, does it go to Facebook? We'll talk about social media in a bit. If you have credibility symbols, please put those. Clear calls to action are essential. We talked about mobile, live chat, allow people to book online with you. Speed matters. If you have a slowly loading site, that is really a problem. And lastly, the trend is people really want to engage via text and they, on their mobile phone. They don't necessarily check their email all the time. And people really don't want to talk to somebody unless they're pretty comfortable already with what they've seen. We also included our builder website checklist. This is included in your workbook. You can also download a copy on our website. Okay, so let's talk about SEO. So first of all, what is SEO? SEO is search engine optimization. It's the process of improving a website's visibility and search engine results. So search engines, Google, Yahoo, Bing, I mean, there are others too. And what the goal is to make it so the search engine understands a website's content. So if I'm out searching, the search engine is going to serve up what it thinks is the best website. Okay. And so very important. If you have this wrong, there's really, again, there's not a whole big point in having a website if you can't be found. So here's just a screenshot. I wanted to just make it really clear. So if I went into Google and I said new home builders in Connecticut, on the bottom are the organic results. How do I know this? Because there's no sponsored above it. Okay. Paid results, which we'll get into, that's pay-per-click. That has an indication that it's sponsored. Sometimes it might say ad, but usually, it's very clearly indicated. These are just the things you want to do. If you have different services, so let's say you build homes, but you also do additions, maybe you do some remodeling, you should have a separate page for each of those. Have a separate page for each city that you operate in. So your major cities. You want to optimize your titles, your H1s, like even your URL needs to be optimized, your images. Again, this is when people are searching, Google is trying to figure out, what is this website about? And if it can't figure it out, it just discounts you. You want to have unique content. You want to blog. Okay, blogging is just a great way to put out educational content, but also because it's text, the search engines can pick up on it. So twice a month is usually the minimum. And, we went over some of this, exuding the kind of trust and authority. And then lastly, there's something called Google My Business. You want to go claim your business. You want to optimize this. There's some, steps you need to take to do that. Basically, my one big piece of advice is you don't want to get on the bad side of any of these search engines because it's very hard to reinstate yourself. So you want to make sure that if they're asking for information, that you're providing it when you're going through the verification process. Okay, pay-per-click, which we kind of talked about a little bit, that is, the term PPC actually can mean pay-per-click, even, like Facebook ads. In the agency world, and when most people talk to you coming from an agency talk about PPC, they're talking about advertising primarily on Google and maybe some of the other search engines. Okay, so this is a great way to drive traffic. It is an investment. And I will say Google will hand out these small test amounts, and yet that's really not enough to see if PPC is going to work. PPC and SEO, there is a time commitment. Okay, so you really want to look to test. I would say, well, for SEO, it takes about 6 months. Pay-per-click, I would say 2 to 3 months. But it's going to take you a month to just even get your campaigns going. You have to be able to make that commitment, or it's not even worth testing it. Why most campaigns fail: people are setting up only one ad group for all of their services. You need to set up separate ad groups. They're not using specific text ads. And there's, if somebody is like clicking through on the ad, it's going to a landing page that does not have a strong offer or reason to convert. Okay, so let's talk about database. And what are we talking about when we say database? Okay, database is collecting lead information. So I happened to be on Clayton Homes website earlier today, and they have this pop up. So again, browse beautiful homes in your inbox. Clayton's a very large company. They're not one of our clients, by the way, but I was just looking at their website. I think they're 2.7 billion is what I saw for their latest revenues. Yes, they're a big company. They probably have a good sized marketing budget, but this type of tactic is something anybody can do. This is not particularly expensive. If you're going to make a marketing investment, you can do email marketing, right? So you want to figure out ways to get your prospect emails, and then you want to deliver with email that nurtures them. So this is an example that we actually put this newsletter together for a client, and the first time we put it out, they actually resuscitated a lead that at one point had thought he was going to go with another builder and ended up coming back to them, and they built the house. You could do things like home of the month. You could feature your clients. There are a lot of great ideas that you can put out that educate and inform. You want to put out quality content. You're not, spamming people. You don't want to do that. You want to put out something. Maybe you're doing a webinar. These are things that you can employ as well. And then you want to look at your stats. How many people are opening? Who's clicking through? Are people unsubscribing or complaining? Then that's not good. Then you want to adjust your strategy. Okay, so social media is the next area we are going to dive into. This is a fantastic way to build awareness and engagement. We love social media for home builders because home building is very visual. People love to look at it. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are natural fits. If you're dealing with investors, then LinkedIn might be another platform that you'd consider. It is a commitment, though. I would recommend, if you're not willing to commit, or if you have social profiles out there that you're not keeping updated, it might also be better to not have them because it's very public. Nobody can see if your direct mail campaign, bombed, but everybody can see if you haven't posted in 6 months. And what is that doing? Are they thinking, well, is this even, is this company in business anymore? That's the kind of thing you have to remember. That's the type of thought process people have. You can use ads, and they're great awareness builders. They're a great way to drive traffic. You have to pay to play. If you're not doing any advertising, it is going to be very difficult to get anybody to look at these pages. The average US Facebook user has 155 friends. This is wonderful if you can get your clients, your happy clients, to post on social media. Just think, they are sharing this content with their friends. It's also measurable. It's highly targeted. You could target zip codes, interests, like interested in home and garden or real estate. So there's a lot of benefits, but we do recommend that you think about the commitment. And there's also a cost of not being on social media because it does take time to build up a following. There's big companies out there that have millions of followers. Well, guess what? They started the same way we all do, with probably 1 or 2 followers. All right. So, it's a great channel, but you have to evaluate your resources and whether or not you're ready to actually put the time into it. Okay, so reputation, I think this is kind of a natural as well. What are, I looked at, these are some local builders. Yeah, this first one has 38 reviews. They look like they're all 5-star. I'm definitely checking them out. You can even ask for reviews for your happy clients. I've seen even business cards that go directly to the place where you review. And I think everybody knows that we all trust what another customer has to say. We see this whether it's on Amazon, this is Google, Yahoo. Everybody likes to read reviews. And I think, again, when you're researching who to go with to build something as important as a home, it's something you want to focus on. And there are programs out there that can help you with the reviews, help you monitor them. We help clients with this. Okay, so automation. Let's just take a moment to talk about automation because all of this can be kind of overwhelming. So, is your lead flow really the problem? Maybe not. 50 to 60% of inbound leads leave unconverted, and 90% of web forms fail to convert. So, why? You need to be very quick with lead follow up. Okay, 15 minutes. The average customer must be followed up with 5 to 7 times, and people prefer texting. How do you even deal with this? You can now leverage marketing automation. So there are programs out there like HubSpot, like Marketo. We actually have a proprietary program that we work with clients to automate their communications. And you want to automate it so that your prospects are touched, 5 plus times. And then you can put them into a very nice workflow where they will get, say, maybe a monthly newsletter or maybe your latest model. All of these things are great. So this, can give you a nice big headache, but this can all be automated. That is the point of this slide. So if you had to sit down and do all this yourself, it would be very time consuming and probably not realistic. But we have now the power of computers. Budget, yes. How much should you spend? Are you, again, just trying to sustain what you have? You want to grow a little bit, or do you want to really grow? So there's a number of different stats out there, and they say you should spend 5% of your revenue to remain static to keep your market share, around 10% to grow. B2C companies tend to need to spend more. This is from the Builders Association, as well as you can take a look at the Small Business Administration. They have a number of articles. You have to figure this out for yourself. I think if you do that beginning exercise of looking at where you stand now and you do your goal setting, it'll become a lot clearer. And from there, you should be able to figure out your average cost per lead. Once you start to implement these channels, you can actually start tracking how much you're spending, where the leads are coming from, and then you figure out which are the most efficient. If you don't know this information now, it's a great time to start tracking and, start getting a sense, because really, your business relies on it. It's hard to manage a business if you don't have this type of information. And ultimately, what your ROI is. Half my advertising spend is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half. This is a famous quote, which is kind of funny. But again, I think the more you track, and digital marketing, frankly, you should be able to track everything. Almost, it can become quite overwhelming, the level of granularity you can get to. But you know what? If you do track it, you're not going to be in this situation. So, what areas do you need to focus on the most? Again, you can use our priorities page in the workbook to give you an idea of where to start. What's the lowest hanging fruit? Usually there's something that really needs to be addressed. And then you can plan your focus. This is just a sample calendar. There are some seasonal shifts in home building. Spring, that's when a lot of people start thinking about buying homes, listing homes. I remember years ago they told us, the time to, at least where we live, to put your home on the market is, sometime in February. So you're catching people who want to, make a decision and be able to move before the next school year if you're in that kind of market. What do you want to accomplish across these various channels? And, think about, there's a lot of holidays you can sprinkle in here as you start to build out events and, when you want to do certain things, then all of a sudden you start to really have an action plan. So let's finish up by just talking about what we covered today. And I am going to come back on. Hopefully that was better, not having my distracting talking head in the corner. But let's just review what we covered, if it'll let me. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Know your target and your positioning in the market, right? Again, there's a nice worksheet in the workbook that you can really start to flesh out who you're talking to and really think about them. What are their pain points? What are their objections? How do you overcome those objections? Understand the online trends. Okay, this is not 1985 anymore. People operate in a certain way. It's always changing. The digital space is always, always changing. Now we have AI on the scene. People are savvy, and especially people that can afford to build homes these are not ignorant types of people that you're likely dealing with. You really need to meet them with a professional image and using modern tactics. Establish your baseline. Where are you today? Maybe bring some friends and family who will be honest. Ask them what they think. Set clear goals. Realign your stats. And if you're not tracking, start tracking. These programs in Google, social media, these are all free. You just have to start doing it. And map out your plan. What does 2025 look like? What does each month look like? What's your budget? How much should you spend? Have you been kind of cheap in the past? Are you not really meeting your growth goals? Or maybe you are. Maybe you're happy and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing with the amount of money that I'm spending. What channels are you going to use? What are the trends? And then what does your month by month look like? Setting you up for great success in 2025 and beyond. Oops, sorry, it's not. Ooh, there we go. What are your top 3 action items? Sorry, I thought it was taking me back a page. So you can fill that out on your own. And if you're interested in working with us, we would love to help you out. We do offer a free strategy session. We usually start with just a short call. We want to see, what you're trying to do, and we follow it up with a longer, more in-depth review of your business. And if it makes sense, we may end up, being a great marketing partner for you. And in this, session, the deep dive, we look at what you are doing online right now. We look at keywords. We'll look at a ranking report. How are you stacking up against your competition? Are you out there in directories in the right way? How are you showing up? What kind of reviews do you have? Do you have any reviews? What are you doing with social media? And we'll come up with, some recommended points of action. We'll look at your website, of course, and you'll get a nice report. There's no pressure. If you decide that we're not the right fit, or maybe we decide that because sometimes the fit isn't there, that's okay. We always just enjoy helping people and are happy to have this call with you. So thank you again. Please follow us on social media. That's where we'll post our monthly webinar. And so you can find us as Builder Lead Marketing. If you go to our website, the icons are there and they should link you directly. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can learn more about my team on the website as well. You can send me an email. I would love to hear from you and hope to see you in some upcoming webinars. Thank you again for your time today.